Okay, so today we're gonna put up our next video, and I couldn't have asked for better conditions. Check it out. Wet, dreary, a light rain, overcast sky. How in the world could this be good? Because what we're gonna do today is get that fire lit. And I couldn't even get it in dry conditions last time, but we're gonna get it in wet conditions. I know how to do it, I've got the tools. It's a cool RV place. If you like RVs, that always seemed like something cool to do. Get RV and go RVing, but I don't know, then you're kind of locked in, aren't you, to wherever the RV can go is where you can go. I don't know. So we'll be there soon. I think it's about a half hour out here. We're just going out to some WMA land that we've got here. Nobody's going to be around, which is great, because who comes out in this stuff? Closer. We're almost there now, about 3 miles, 5 minutes away. It's been just cool, easy-going country back roads with some amazing homes. Like, some of these homes are just really huge. I don't know about this. So this is our main road here. I think this is the last stretch. Once we get up here, it's a few minutes. It's really peaceful out here. Wide open. Almost to our destination. Okay, so here it is. I was wondering, we were still passing homes and whatnot, but there's the WMA spot. I think you can keep going that way. Those are all the trails that take you to all the hunting spots, I believe. But we're just gonna come in here and park and hike back here and see what we can find. We're here now. This is the spot that we're at. And I don't really know what direction to go in or where to head out to. So I thought I'd look at the map first and see if there's any water around. And there's nothing anywhere around here. So that was the only thing I was kind of heading the direction of if there is. I've got the yellow. We're going to use those in a minute. I've got the axe, the knife, the hat. I brought some water just in case, which we don't have any water. So, and we're going to use these as strips to tie in case we need to find our way back, but we should be okay with this. We're not going in too far, and this should help us. All right, got to the edge here. Around here, we're going to take a quick look and see what we got, because I have no idea which direction to go in. The best thing of all, I think I just found it. You got to be kidding me. Okay, so what I had said to come in here and to set this up, like the best conditions to set this up, would be if I could find a big tree that's already fallen. That would really be the best thing, because you can set your tarp up right over the tree. That becomes your seat, and on top of it becoming your seat, that's where you can chop any wood. And look at this. Oh, this is horrible. What the heck? I don't know why people do this. But anyways, there's one right there that's a big fallen. But I think I saw even a better one over here. Let's check this out. Where did I see this? I just saw a really good one over here. That looked like a great piece of fallen. And I was hoping these trees would be kind of spaced out in such areas, in such a way, a bunch of them, to set up the tarp will make it really easy. Yeah, I think this is gonna look perfect. So what I did, I came in a little bit more here, and I found there was another piece of fallen up there. This one's perfect. So if it is cold and wet, and if it's rainy too, which it's not, but we're gonna pretend it is, this is perfect. You know, there's a couple trees behind it, and a couple trees back here, and a couple trees in front, so that you can tie your tarp too. You'll see we're gonna put the tarp up and over it like this, on a little bit of an angle, and then we can probably light our fire right in this area. So we got a tree here for the back, one in the front here, and then on the other side of the tarp we could probably tie up to either one of these two, and then probably even this one or this one. We've got a lot of string. didn't think I was gonna need the second one, and I didn't cut it yet, so that's always what's weird with this. It's like, where does it start? You know, do you just unravel the thing and wish for the best? But I forget what I did last. There we go. It started in there somewhere, so there we are. Okay, so we'll have to cut it off. What I brought here, we've got the axe we're gonna need to split the wood, knife, always need a good regular old knife. Nice to keep these on your belt and keep them off your back. I brought some water because, like I said, I had a feeling we weren't gonna find any water around here. The map showed that, so just a little more. Knife blade to saw. Gloves, we're gonna be using those in a minute. An extra tarp that we could lay on the ground if we needed to. An extra seat. Let me bring these down. Gloves. There's nothing else down there. And then up top, cotton balls. Different types of fire starter stuff that we can use. Matches, backup knife, Vaseline. We'll get to that and the cotton balls in a minute and see if that works, because that's another test. Backup batteries for the Go of the Pro. Of course, our extra cord that we had. And some snacks, pretzels, and cereal. Probably not the best food since the only water we got is that. And we've got some sauce in there, courtesy of my son, to see if it sets my mouth on fire, but we'll see. We're gonna put some of that stuff back. And so what we're gonna do now, I'm gonna put the gloves on. We're gonna head out with the saw, and we're gonna try and look for a piece of standing deadwood. What we gotta do now is find a piece of standing deadwood. So this is the key here. And once we get this, I'll head back, we'll bring it back, and we'll talk about exactly what we need. Now here is definitely standing deadwood. The way that you know, it's got no branches, pretty much no limbs. All the bark is coming off, right? Definitely, and you want it standing so that the rain that's hitting it is pretty much only hitting from the top down, and the sides would get sucked up, the water would get sucked up by the bark, and then the inside is what we're hoping would be nice and dry. But this inside, that ain't happening with this thing. I'm not even gonna bother, because that is, I thought I saw some more. There's our campsite, we can't miss that. Can't get lost there. I thought I saw another piece of standing deadwood somewhere over here. Here's one here. Let's look at this one. Now this one might have better luck. It's a little thicker. You want it to be, so you'd want it to be about the width, the diameter of the standing deadwood to be the width of your hand. This looks pretty good. No, I can tell you right now, no way. It is so rotted, it's like literally a sponge, and so the inside is completely soaked. So at first glance, you got to look carefully, because at first glance it doesn't look like there's anything, but there is. It's this guy here. If you look up, he's got no branches, he's got no top, there's nothing up there. And this is a pretty good thickness. His bark's coming off, so we know he's dead. This is pretty thick though. This is, you know, almost two of my fists there. Not a happy tree. I guess whichever way it lands, just go the other way, right? Yeah. Shoot, I didn't even need to do that. I could have just done the hole. What the heck? I just pushed the tree over. I didn't even freaking saw the thing. Unbelievable. Okay, well that's good news. Let's see how much this sucker weighs. Yeah, we ain't hauling that thing back. We're gonna have to cut it up into pieces and then bring the pieces back as we go. Okay. Is that dry? It seems dry. We'll find out as we cut one open. So one way to tell before you start going crazy cutting this is, hello, you want to use the lip test. Your lips are super sensitive, tons of nerves on the end of your lips, so your lips can tell and sense a lot of stuff, and it'll sense if there's moisture in it. You'll just be able to tell. Let's see. Yeah, there's no moisture in there. I think that's dry. It looks pretty good. So I'm just gonna cut up, I think 2 more of these, and then we'll chop them. We'll bring them back and then we're gonna chop them. And that'll be what we're gonna do. All right, take it back about the saw. Thing's ripping pretty good. So as you can see, this is rotted and it's probably wet. And we'll find out. But the other side, this side's all dry. So I think if we get the bark off and split this down the middle and just use this half, this piece will be okay. So this is one we'll take and we'll give it a shot. You just got this one sawed through. One thing I noticed is when you're sawing it, to tell areas that are gonna be a little wet or rotted, the saw goes right through it. As soon as you start hitting good dry wood, the saw takes its sweet old times when you might want to change out saws. And I can show you that next time in our next video. We'll call it a bigger, badder saw, as this one ain't really cutting it for these guys. Okay, so whew. Yeah, this saw's good, but probably not for logs this big, twice your hand in diameter. So we do have these 2 logs. We got this one I just cut, we got that one. This one has more solid hardwood than this one, but this one still has a lot of solid hardwood. It's gonna suffice for what we need to do, because we're just gonna bring it back. We're gonna split them. Then we're gonna split them again for what I call tinder level 2. And then I'll show you how we get tinder level 1, because those are really the keys to getting this fire lit and staying and going all night. And you've got dry wood. This is 90% of it, because now you've actually got dry wood. But the key was you can't just go get sticks and branches, they're soaked. You gotta cut something down. So that's where the big part of this comes from. If it's wet out, you can get a fire, but you gotta do a lot more work. So now it's just a matter of getting all this bark stripped off because it's wet, and getting down to where everything is gonna be nice and dry. I just realized and thought about, and as I think back when I saw this before, I don't know if there's really a reason to strip the bark off, because we're gonna be splitting these down the middle, and we're gonna keep slicing kind of from the middle out this way. So all of this wood is gonna be drying here till we get to the end, and that we're gonna throw away. So with that being said, I don't think we need to do that. I think what we're gonna do is just go straight into chopping these. So I sliced this once before. Oh, Lordy. I think normally you'd want to slice this, put this on top of here, but it ain't gonna balance, right? You want something hard underneath of this to absorb the shock. But this thing, I think it's so. There we go. There we go. You can see inside there, that's looking pretty good. There we go. Should have flipped it before. There we go. There we are. Okay. But we want to keep cutting down because we've got to get to the tinder. Without the tinder, this stuff's never going to light. So let's come over here under the tarp and let's turn this into what I call the level 2 tinder that you'll need. And I'll go over that in a minute. Little tiny mini pieces of firewood. And we're just gonna keep splitting these down where we're gonna find the driest wood. And the tinder. So we got all this kind of small, what I call level 2 tinder set up, which is what we need. It's wood and it's kind of tinder at the same time because it's so thin. This is what we're looking for. And if this stuff is dry, we will absolutely have fire. There's no doubt about it, because that means what I'm about to make, which is the level 1 tinder, which is the shavings. If this is dry, that's gotta be dry. And so the shavings will light up very easily, which will light this up, which will lend itself to our larger pieces going on top, which will then light. Is just really getting a lot of these shavings down here, all thin enough, piled up and just piled up on top of here, because it's time, right? They'll light, they're gonna light, but we need them to light and to stay lit for, you know, a minute or so, because that's the time we're gonna need for flame. Around, like I said, and just start shaving the wood down thin and thin and thin and thin, and shaving these little tiny pieces off. And I'm gonna try and start lighting them one at a time in the middle, get a couple to catch, and then start putting these smaller shavings over top in hopes that this whole thing will catch. I wonder if we just try and light the whole thing in one fell swoop. Needed way more shavings than I had. Way more shavings. And then even thinner pieces of tinder to go on top. Like this probably would have been too thick. Just thinner pieces to go right on top. Not the best spot here, first time doing it. We're close to the tree. It would have been nice to be in the center so we could come out more, but it looks like we got it. It looks like we literally have a campfire. So this is awesome. It's starting to go. We'll see if it stays all the way. And hopefully that's gonna catch, and they didn't put two big ones on too soon. I think we're okay. What starts to happen now with these fires is, you know, the key here is way underneath is the heat underneath. Once you have hot heat, I mean, you can even put damp rotted stuff on here. If you have enough hot coals and heat, and I'm talking about like you get this stuff lit, and this stuff's been lit for a couple of hours, you're going to have a lot of hot coals underneath that. Once you have that level of heat, you're gonna be good. You're gonna be totally set. Back here, and just super gratifying. I mean, we've got it. That is a campfire. I mean, it's basic and it's small, but it's there, and we've got it. We'll come back in a few more minutes. I'm gonna try and get one of those big guys on there and put it on there, but I mean, I'm telling you right here, there is heat from this thing. I can't believe it. I mean, wet conditions, damp, still misty outside, stuff's blowing around a little bit. We had a little bit of wind, but you know, again, it doesn't matter how damp or how wet it is, as long as you don't have wind and you find a good piece of standing deadwood, you can get an amazing campfire going. We're gonna come back in a few more minutes and try and get one of those bigger logs on. But looking great, awesome, nice heat. This is definitely caught at this point. I can tell you right underneath, I can see these logs we put on top have caught, so they were definitely dry in front. And we've still got 3 or 4 more over here that we can use, and I think I will just stay. And this wood's so dry, even the base ones that I thought, I can tell you from this view, even these base ones I thought that might have been too wet. They have already caught down below, I'll show you. If you look right there, where's my finger? There we go. So that was one of the base ones, and you can see that's all lit as well. So, I mean, most of this was way more drier than I thought. And it is looking good. You can hear it cracking. This is something I completely forgot about. I'm looking over there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I got Vaseline cotton balls. So, at the beginning, we talked about the Vaseline and the cotton balls. I show you how I use them. This is actually supposed to be the actual like tinder that you can start even with just spark. So we had all the curlicue stuff, the little tiny shavings. Underneath of that, we should have taken that off, and what I wanted to put down was this cotton ball and petroleum Vaseline. You soak it really good, just get a big chunk on there, and you light it. This would have been under the curlicue shavings of wood. Once you light it, the more petroleum jelly, the better. It burns, it's hot, and it burns nicely like that. And then we would have put the shavings over top of that. So I just threw this bigger one on here, and everything started to die down a little bit. And so you can see it's sparked back up now. And what I did is I also noticed that this, remember we talked about this base was still lit. So a little blowing on it like that, getting some oxygen in there, and you can see everything torqued right on up. So, well, that's a good thing, right? It means we got a fire lit. So it worked. We've got our fire lit here. It looks good. It feels good. It's warm. And, you know, this is going to keep going. As long as we had enough of these logs cut up, we'd have enough going for several hours or for the night. So again, what do you need? You need, for your tools, you need a saw, you need an axe, you need a knife, good knife, and then you're also going to need, you know, possibly even a better saw than I had, and I can show you that next time. You need something for spark, so either a lighter or that spark set combo that I had. I forget the name of that. They're all over the place. But for now, until the next video comes out where we can light it with just spark and get even better tinder that can light from the spark, you would need some sort of lighter, right? You've got your material. What do you then got to go out and do? You got to find standing dead wood. Don't let damp conditions, don't let wet conditions, don't let rain stop you from hiking and going out and doing overnights, even if rain's coming. You can always get a fire, no problem at all, right? If I can do it first time, my God, anybody can do it. So I'll see you next time. Send a like, send a subscribe, send me some ideas or thoughts of what you liked, what you didn't like, what you might want to see, and I'll see you out there on the next great adventure. Ah, the way out. Good thing for that.